A movie opens tomorrow on the life of former President Ronald Reagan.
I was a lifeguard on a river.
There's no turning back.
And I learned how to read the currents.
It is the first full-length film focusing on the life of the 40th president. The biopic stars Dennis Quaid, Penelope Ann Miller, and Jon Voight, while Catholic actor David Henry portrays the teenage Reagan. The story takes place during the Cold War with the Soviet Union and follows Reagan's journey from his childhood home in Illinois all the way to the White House. And we turn now to one of the stars of Reagan, Academy Award-winning actor Jon Voight. Jon, thank you so much for being with us today. We're really grateful. First off, tell us, why was it important for you to be a part of this movie?
Well, I guess several things, you know. And I was asked to do the movie. I was given a script, and I looked at it, and I had a great regard. I really liked Reagan quite a lot, as most of us, you know, who lived through that time did. We had a great regard for him. And I saw this part, and I didn't know too much about the KGB at that time, but I didn't know if I was going to do it. But it was interesting to me. And then they called me to a meeting with Dennis and the director, who I know, Sean McNamara, who's a great guy. And it was a nice, warm meeting, and they did the whole meeting just to get me, and which was really a flattery, you know. And then Dennis put his hand on my shoulder and he said, "I want you to do this, Jon." And that did it for me. I said, well, if a peer like Dennis feels I can help out, I'll do it. Yeah. So that's how I did it.
That's wonderful. Tell us about your character, Viktor Petrovich, and his unique perspective in this movie.
Well, he's a KGB spy working for the KGB, and he's assigned to look for trouble coming in new generations. And he finds this fellow, Ronald Reagan, who seems to be talking against the communist system continuously, and is an actor. And then he gets into a little political stuff with the union. He becomes part of the union leadership, and he's very talented in some way. They see this coming, or at least this fellow, my fellow does see this coming, and he warns people about him. They don't too much listen to him, but he gets fascinated by Reagan from his close contact, and it changes much of his thinking. It's an interesting character. It's and it's from his perspective that we see Ronald Reagan. In other words, he tells the story in some way, because he's marking every moment of his life, and it's a very interesting tool, and I think a very effective one.
Yeah.
And I have to say, just between you and me, Trace, this picture's terrific. And the performances are all wonderful. Dennis is great, and Penelope Ann Miller is great. And it's a love story, too. A great love story. And it's very moving at the end. It's a wonderful picture to take your family to, and you'll probably go back and see it a couple of times, because there's something about it that makes you feel positive about today.
Yeah, and we need that for sure, Jon, absolutely. As you look back, you know, and think back of the Reagan years, do you see any similarities between then and what our nation is going through right now?
Well, surprisingly enough, this picture was supposed to come out a year and a half ago, but we had trouble with COVID, shooting through COVID, and then we had the actors' strike, and several things, trying to get the script right, get the picture right before we did the CGIs, and it took quite a long time, and it just pushed back, and it finally came to this date, which is, you know, this time right in the middle of the concern for the next election, right? So it's surprising. It's almost like it was destined that we would come out at this time, because there's so many things in this film that relate to this time. I'll give you an example. The picture starts out almost immediately with the assassination attempt on Reagan. And then it pulls us back to, a couple of weeks ago when there was an assassination attempt on Donald Trump. So, and there are many things throughout that bring us back to this time. And therefore, the film has real relevance. And it wouldn't have had the same kind of power, a year and a half ago.
And we have part 2 of our interview with Jon Voight tomorrow, where he tells us about his acting career and what it was like to play John Paul II. Reagan opens tomorrow in theaters nationwide. And for more information, visit Reagan.movie.